Hello and welcome to Promenade Culture Center. This is Culture Corner. We bring you the authentic stories of creative individuals. Our guest today is Maha Alasaker, a multidisciplinary artist. Very warm welcome to you, Maha, today.
Thank you for having me today.
Lovely to have you here while visiting. Shall we start with that? You are not currently in Kuwait.
No, I'm not. I am currently based in Abu Dhabi. I moved there last year. I'm doing my MFA program in NYU Abu Dhabi. It's such a I feel like very grateful that I could have like kind of pause from the world and being an adult and just go back to school and reflect on everything I was doing.
It's a different perspective.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also like adult free responsibility. I mean, I have a lot of assignments.
Obviously.
Basically, I yesterday submitted my essay to Vikram and George. And yeah, so it's a different experience.
What type of program is it, if we may learn more?
So it's a Master of Fine Arts. It's more into the academic side. So there is a lot of reading, reflection, and in the end of this, hold on, I think in May, I will supposed to do a thesis, and I need to do also an exhibition. So each one of us as a student will have like a big room. So it's excited. My work is shifting a lot than how people know it.
We will talk about it. That's change
Yeah,
and many faces. Yes,
Yeah,
you have.
Yeah, like last year, my work changed, and this year changed even more. I'm trying like to just let it go and work with what's coming. Yeah.
With the flow. That's a great privilege actually at this moment.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to mention a few things that come to mind when we talk about you and your work, and that is definitely how much dedication you have to the idea of female power, resistant perseverance, and you do your research and a lot of understanding, empowering female subjects, and so on, and individuals. This is how one of the perception of your work comes to mind when I think of you. It's also evident in your photography, which is one of your assets, one of your fields. Can you comment on this? Did you find these topics, or did they find you? Or simply as a woman, it comes without a question?
I think it's come without question. I think as a woman, we always are hyper aware, or not hyper. I mean, I will say hyper aware about our existence and what we can, what we cannot in any society. If you add two elements, which is culture and religion, that's also adds extra layer on it. So almost everywhere in the world, even the West, there is a dynamic difference between it. And it's mostly related to the female body. So I feel like from the beginning till now, I'm interested in the female body in negotiation with culture and religion. It's had different aspects. Like at the beginning, I was talking a lot about identity and belonging. And I also, as I grow older, I have different experiences. The topic expand, but it's always evolved within that body.
And certain exhibitions or certain topics you've covered in Undisclosed, Disclosed, The Trap Called the Body, I Panic. Do you feel that your work evolved specifically through these, where there is the aspects of the same topic that you wanted to cover? How did you feel developing these?
I mean, so there's so that's exactly what I was talking about. So the one that you're talking about, I produced them between 2013, 2018, which is like I will say the beginning of me as an artist. My medium was mainly photography and performance in front of the camera. I did a couple of film, but which which topic as identity and belonging.
Mm.
The I panic, that was like kind of when I start to even add the mental health aspects, like the body is not only physical, but also the body react and perform in their own way. I used to have like really bad panic attacks, and this kind of idea that you are in control and everything, but then the body just stop and tell you like no, and then there's the time where the sensation and time doesn't match. But where yeah, so now I'm still talking about the same body, but I'm talking about it in a different way and in a collective way, in the same way that the female body and bleeding is always an issue. And I call them the 3P, like there's the 3 type of bleeding: the period, the menopause, and the first night of marriage. If you bleed, if you don't bleed, that is not personal to you. That becomes something that affects everybody around you. I'm kind of investigate on these kind of topics like in the last couple of years, even till now. My medium also changed. I'm working mostly on so I'm working, when I say mostly, so I'm working on textile art, let's say, but I'm also working with natural material. All my work now must be something coming from nature. And I also so I work with natural dye that I converted them to a natural pigment, to watercolor, to paint with watercolor. I take the natural dyes, I take the plants and the roots, convert them into a dye, dye the fabric and the thread, and then use these two, the threads and the fabric. So I'm also interested in the rituals. Okay, like every society has rituals. So there is the society and the religion, and I feel like my practice, which is something I'm still like reflecting on, is my practice is not only as like what I'm showing, but these kind of ritual that I created in a way that's also work as like art therapy and meditation. Like I will not use the art therapy because now it's like kind of cliche. I will use it as a meditation. When I work with my hand, I'm just focused on here and now. Yeah.
I remember you as a study resident artist.
Yes.
And I don't know, for me, this was the first time I realized you also work with natural dyes, and you created a booklet, if I remember well.
Actually, like I moved into natural dye through this residency. Okay. But that time, 2019, I just came back to Kuwait. I lived in the state for 6 years, and I developed my practice as an artist there. And I reached a place where I figured out that my work was really getting a lot of attention. I had shows, I did solo shows, I made a book, Woman of Kuwait. But I realized that my work is not directed to the West. The West still have different conversation about like feminism and men and women. My work is toward my people, and that's why I moved back to Kuwait. And I was struggling with the medium in a way that it started to like talking about the body without nudity, without showing. How can I talk about taboos without showing? And I felt like I'm just reaching that point. So through the residency, Sado House, they opened my eyes into the idea of color and where the color coming from, and that's from
Were you working with a weaver potentially as well at that time?
No. So what I did, I learn how to create natural dye. I search online, I took a couple of workshops. with working with the weavers.
Yeah.
Also, the weavers didn't want to give me the ratios.
They're very secretive
There,
about these, which is completely
yeah,
understandable.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which I
Yeah.
think if she gave it to me, maybe I was not, because she mixed things to me, but she didn't give me. But I was
Yeah.
excited to see the color.
Yes.
There's this like kind of like thrill. It's like, oh my God, we can just make color from something, and that's something I
And
never
it's
thought
such
about.
a female topic, given the fact that they did everything, women, that they created all the elements in the desert, that they would erect them, they would put them down when they moved to find food for animals. Everything was placed on a woman.
Yes, and also like so back then also there's two type of women. There is
Mm.
the Hadar and there is the Bedu, and the Bedouin women had more freedom than the Hadari. I read an essay where women talking about how they lost their privileges. One, the like when Kuwait they started, it was like, okay, everybody needs to have a house address, because all of a sudden they are in a different place where they need to be, and men, so they become surrounded by four doors where they used to be doing everything. Yeah.
We will talk more about that part of your art and your work. I want us to go a little bit more back to starting and feeling that you want to be on a certain artistic path. How early did this show for you in your childhood, in surrounding, at school? What were the supportive elements, and how much of it you kind of created yourself?
I think there was nothing called artistic path in the era I grew up in Kuwait. Also, there was no like models. I mean, things are changing now, but back then there was nothing, and I also had like kind of two different lives, or now maybe three different lives. So I had the life where I was like really fitting, trying to fit. I graduated from industrial engineering. I did MBA, Brock. So this is my second master, what I'm doing right now. I'm nerd. I love learning. I worked in investment. I studied investment for a year. So I have like, I'm kind of a person where if something make me excited, I will go with it. But when you're in your 20s, you don't understand that being good. So it took me a way, like time for me to figure out like, oh no, that's not working. And that's the beauty of 30s, where, you kind of have a different way of looking at life, where in your 20s, mostly you're trying to fit in or figure out or be, crazy you, but like, yeah. So yeah, it wasn't something like, yeah, I was also always like drawing. I still like have my drawing
From those early days.
yeah, my mom is like, I have like photo albums, photos, and I do remember her taking me to different workshops.
Yeah.
But once you are high school, you just want to be cool.
Yeah.
Your point of view of life, try to figure out like, and that's where I dropped kind of everything.
Yeah. And refound yourself later on. How do you combine the different fields you're active in and different materials you work in? Because you are a photographer, you work with textiles, you're interested in movement.
Ex-photographer.
Ex-photographer. I absolutely understand the need to not identify with a specific anymore, but at the same time, you've left a large body of great work that we appreciate.
Okay, thank you.
We mentioned already, by the way, Women of Kuwait in this podcast because Nada Fares was our guest, so we were mentioning the book. We have it in our library too.
Oh,
we have a small library here.
I'm very grateful that you have it. So for me,
a combination of these. How does that work?
It's worked very normally. So the way how I work with my gut feeling. So I'm practice-led artist, but I also do my research. But so I do have a concept in my head or something I want to talk about. I just tap into, so I don't work in one project. So when if I'm working something, I tap it into a different places.
Yeah.
I currently work also with clay.
Mm-hmm.
So I work with ceramic, I work with fabric, I start to draw. That's the new thing. So I
Okay.
have different things and I have different stations. So I have 2 stations at home, 3 stations at home, and I have 2 at school. So I just dance around them. And I also collaborate with the material instead of controlling the material.
Mm.
When you work with natural material, you need to understand their life and the way how they want to respond, and you just need to accept it. So in a way, I'm trying to because with photography there is more controlling, especially the type of photography I work with. I need to figure out the light and and where to perform. So it's just like kind of control everything, where with the other medium you just work with them, the temperature, the heat, the time. I cannot rush anything.
Mm-hmm.
I need everything to set overnight, 2 hours, 3 hours, and I need to respect that. So it's taught me a lot of patience.
Is this something that is very necessary for an artist to be patient?
It's necessary for me. I
Mm.
think every artist has their own
Yeah.
way of learning and responding. I think of art in general, not only for artists, for any person who tap into it. Um, it's it's a language. It's a way of expressing something. So going to workshops and play with mediums like clay, or you go and learn something,
Mm.
it's not just wasting time as people can think about it. It's also to let you sit with your feeling, with whatever you are feeling, and to just reflect on it with the thing that you make or you draw.
Um, I'd like us to mention again Women of Kuwait,
Mm-hmm.
something that you are definitely known for, something that has obviously affected a lot of people. Like I said, Nada and I spoke about it.
Mm-hmm.
And the way she spoke humorously of it as well, because she said you called her and told her basically you need something for the next day. And how much she enjoyed these interviews that followed your photographies. I read somewhere, if I'm not mistaken, please correct me, that you
Mm-hmm.
realized that there's a lot of the unknown and a lot of misconceptions about women here
Correct.
while you were away in the States.
So Women of Kuwait was kind of a response to a situation I've been into. And that's hence I was talking about identity. Like, although I grew up here, I went to public school in Kuwait. I lived almost all my life before I went to the state. In Kuwait, I always misunderstood in a way that they call me like, oh, yeah, American, blah, blah, blah. I was just
Mm.
like, whatever. I'm not. I'm very Khaliji. I'm very Kuwaiti. I understand this, but I question things. And when I decided, like, okay, I'm in New York City. I'm living the life. Once I meet people and once I start to say I'm Kuwaiti, I get the same kind of response. I mean, by now we understand like how the West, especially America, like I had easier to talk to like European than American or Latin American. So I was like really frustrated that every time I'm going to social gathering, just like having a dinner or meeting random people, friends, that I need to explain myself, that I'm too loud, that my voice is like personality is big. It's like, are you like Kuwaiti? Are you like, and my hair is curly? I mean, these kind of like projections and what does it mean to be an Arab? So I was like, one time I was frustrated. So I was like, you know what? I will make something. So I created these images while I was living in the state. And I started from 2015 till 2018. So every time I will come to Kuwait, 2 weeks, through social media, I will talk to people and I basically take photos of them. And while I was doing this in 2000, was it 17 or 18? I'm not sure. I submitted this work to New York Times portfolio review, and I was accepted. So I was like, okay, let me see, let's see a photo book. And I met the Daylight publication in there, and he saw the work, and he was like, "Oh, we will publish it." I was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh, look, I mean, I did a lot of these kind of portfolio reviews, and I met so many people there. It was like, and it's New York, like there's so much of us then." But he was really interested, and then I met him after, and he was like, "Okay, we will pay 50%, and you need to raise 50%." And I just got a full-time job, and I was like, yeah, sure, I will do it. So I did a Kickstarter. Till now, I am grateful to Akshay, who helped me film the promo, Marzia, my other friends, who each one helped me to navigate how to do it. Because Kickstarter is not easy, because if you don't reach the money, you're gone.
Yeah.
The money all go. And there's an amazing person, which I have brain fog now. I cannot remember him, because I sat with him. He was my colleague, and he sat with me. He had the experience. He did it twice, and this guy mentored me. So once I got everything, I was like, "Hey, Nada, you want to collaborate? There is this, and there's this funding, and there's that, and I want you to speak to this woman." And I was like, "Oh." But I convinced her, and she went back to these women. Some women's like my sister, who did that in 2015, and the book was 2018. So there's this time gap. But everybody of all these 25 women said that they felt that they were in therapy. They cried, they felt safe, they felt heard, and they loved the experience.
And it's so evident what a book it is, really. And when you realize that these photos are sometimes taken in the most intimate of spaces, they linger during the day, and the things that they have shared.
Yeah.
What a great thing. But I was wondering about it. So sometimes when women do something about women, we call it revolutionary, which of course is not the proper word, because the putting women forward really never stops. What kind of feedback do you get for dealing so often with topics of female empowerment? What are some of the joys or maybe sorrows of such work?
Well, yeah, I mean, you got misunderstood. I mean, by your community sometime. Which is sad. Okay. A lot of people like also sometimes like, "Oh, this is white feminism. This is blah, blah, blah." And I usually like, I'm not everybody cup of tea. I used to be, but didn't make me happy. And so I'm okay of being misunderstood sometimes, or many time, or being like, yeah. But also like, I noticed that the younger generation, they really like what I do. So I am grateful for all the Gen Z who
They're very no nonsense.
yeah, they get me. But like people from my generation older, I mean, not all of them, but like yeah.
You've mentioned that some of the topics that you translate into your work is also mental health, and yours too. You're very open in speaking about it and creating around it. It's reflected in your work. Again, I am interested in the response that your either artistic community or general community has. You feel the need to create around that topic. And we constantly speak that we must speak more about mental health.
Yeah.
But it is still stigmatized.
I mean, communities need time. For me, when you ask me about response, I'm not sure, because I just don't pay attention to it. I mean, the one that I told you what I heard, it's like after it's like I did only one exhibition in Kuwait, but like the way how people responded, which was interesting for me. Last year I did a new body of work called The Lost Tongue of Earth, which would be shown in Art Abu Dhabi in November. So I'm very excited about it. And this is was like the work I submitted by the end of last year for the school. So I've been interested also in kind of like healing and in protection. And so I was interested in lost knowledge of women, let's say. So there's a lot of knowledge like the natural dye, the herbal medicine that got discarded once the modern life in Kuwait happened. Everything old being like it's like primitive, and we want the modernity. And the modernity was what the white people are doing. Because everything is like, you need to dress certain way, you need to go, blah, 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 you need to go to the doctor. And there's this kind of tension. What I created at the end is kind of essentially like a cube covered by fabric. So I used the fabric for kafan. So I want to talk about the body without talking about the body. So I took the fabric of the cotton, and then from outside, I treated this fabric as it's a body. So what I did a ruqya shar'iyya, and I washed it with the cedar leaves to heal it spiritually. And then from the other side, I used herbal medicine and created this like saturated, colorful herbal medicines, like kind of eco printing. And also from the outside, I thought it's like maybe it's not enough. So what I did, I used the magic square. So I also was researching about using like what people will do to feel safe. So there was people used to do tamima and do different kind of things, which then become a taboo. And then also there is like going to someone to create something to protect them. So I created the magic square from outside. So I was interested in having everything on top of each other. And what does it mean to have the religion, like the ruqya with that? Are you saved or not? And once you get inside, you will have an audio. And the audio was based on my research on Dixon, Harold Dixon book, The Arab of the Desert. And I'm still researching his book because there was like a lot of information about the daily life, about how people like wash their hair in the desert, or about what someone just got. Like there's so much details that it's bizarre and interesting, and also it came from his point of view. So yeah, so I'm working on all of that.
That's a lot. I want to ask something more about the natural dyes. When you were researching that for, like you said initially, for study residency, what are the that gives you a beautiful opportunity to go around the country and actually, I guess, search for different sources of natural dyes. What would those be in today's school?
So kind of that's what I was expected, but then a lot of people forget that even back then, it's all about the trades.
Yeah.
So the natural dyes doesn't mean you need just only take things from the
The
earth.
surrounding, yeah.
It's a mix of different things. Like one of the things that usually they use is pomegranate skins, which we don't have pomegranate in Kuwait, but like I don't know if they bring it from Iran or they get it from India. But these kind of things, like when you go to the
They came by sea, yeah.
Exactly. So we have that. We have the madder. So most of the things are coming from, and it's exchange as how.
It also showed the difference in color coding.
Exactly.
How it developed.
So basically, most of these colors are kind of, you get them from the herbal store, which make me at the beginning when I start my research like really frustrated, like I want color from earth. But then I start to do while I was in Kuwait, I was doing a research about native plant from Kuwait.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, once the season's there, I will just drive with my dog in the car in highways and
Yeah.
recognize certain, because they grow in the same places over and over. So I started to research them, like Hameda. There is
There are a lot of flowers. Can they be used as well?
yeah, so الحميضة, النوير,
They're not the same Nuer and Arfaj, right? They're
عارفة
different.
no.
They're
Yeah.
different, but although yellow both, right?
Yes. So
Yeah.
actually nowhere is not one plant. And nowhere is
Okay.
almost if all these yellow plants
Uh-huh.
that you see. Arfaj is kind of now rare to find, and you find it like you need to go like deep in the desert. And the arfaj they use the branches for fire, and camels used to like
And it's
eat
sort of
it.
a bush plant.
Push, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're
So,
beautiful.
so it has different kind of
Usage in different
usages.
parts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
I want to ask you something about something that I like to ask artists.
Mm-hmm.
I am not an artist myself, but probably the biggest fan artists can get
We need
because
people
I've
like
been
you in our
working.
lives.
I've been working in arts my whole life, basically, and it really defines who I am. We see, especially in the times of adversity, a huge role artists play. Um, I'm not going to name a person who said this because I'm not his biggest fan, but there was something about cutting down the budgets for art when this particular politician from the past said, if we remove art, what is there to save? What is there to fight for? I actually agree with this. So in these times of adversity, we have seen writers come forward, turn down residencies they live off of because they don't want to side with oppressors. We see programmatic art, amazing messages sent to the world.
Mm-hmm.
We see artists being sort of what we would call the bravest among us. How do you see the role of artists today? Is there a role? Is it necessary? Does society need it? Are there messengers? Are there truth tellers, beacons of hope?
Poor
Yes,
artists,
I agree.
poor artists. We have high expectation for
Yeah,
all of them. We want them to suffer, to make work, to protest,
yeah.
to
All were condemned, but look, they come forward
I will say
constantly.
everybody can protest, whether they're an artist or writers or someone who work in an office. I feel with the words the new word where everything is in your phone and everybody is as important as an artist. I think it's mostly about you as a human.
Yeah.
What do you believe in? What is your role? I've been that person who fight and talk about things, but I also been that person who've been punished because of what I said
Coming
on one.
forward, yeah.
And these kind of things like really messed with me. The last 2 year before the school, I couldn't make even work because of what happened to me. Which make me think maybe yeah, I mean maybe make me even question myself, why did I do this? But I am that person.
Yeah.
If I see something, I say something, even if I will be in trouble. And I think we go back about the mental. I mean, I was like, okay, what happened? Do this and this. I can physically, but emotionally, I mean, I faced the things. I'm happy that it's over, but it stayed with me. And so let's lower our expectation for everybody. And I think everybody can do what they can do.
Absolutely. What we can learn from artists, though, is the way of expression and how important this is to fulfill our souls. We work a lot with children here, and we see the response.
Yeah.
Anything artistic given to them opens a new perspective, teaches them new words. New words teach them a better conversation to others. Which is why we are so adamant on staying on including art in everything we do with children.
Can I say one thing?
Absolutely.
Just like I respond to what you're saying, I feel like there is really an amazing focus on kids.
Mm.
But there is no focus on high school. I think the problem is, and I think art is the best to take the kids who has trouble in the school, being bullied, have low grades, maybe bring them to a place, not the high achiever, everything is good.
Yeah.
Take these kids who are not successful in school, because school doesn't fit everybody, and maybe do some program, like even here, to do something for the troubled kids. High school, like I know a couple of, like from my, like once they're in high school, the kids start to be mean to each other. And I know a couple of kids who needed to, not kids, like teenager who moved from one school to another because of that. Because
They
like
also,
WhatsApp
yeah,
bullying and between like physical bullying if they're boys too.
yeah. And they also search for themselves, and sometimes they just need a space to express or to be accepted. Um, Adolescence is hard.
Oh yeah. Every time
I'm,
I see someone their 20s, I was like, dude, you don't need to figure out. I'll just
yeah.
assure you, I'm from the future. I just assure you that your brain
Mm.
is not developed yet.
It's interesting how they don't trust us, you know, when we say this. But we need to keep showing up, I
Yeah.
guess.
Because I'm now like really surrounded by them, like the first
yeah.
3 weeks in university, especially when I was
Yeah.
going to eat in the university hall. I was like, oh my God, so many 1918, I
Yeah.
cannot.
Yeah.
But then I started to look at them, I was like, oh, poor thing. They're in
Yeah.
between. They're trying to be an
They're this
adult.
amazing mix of really incredible brains with a lot of knowledge, a lot of like factual knowledge,
Hmm.
and then missing the experience and having these still very fragile souls. And yes, their brains are still not formed yet. So yeah, I'm speaking from an experience of a mother.
Hmm.
So I have
Yeah.
an 18-year-old,
Uh-huh.
and then now another 12-year-old, just kind of coming into that age, and I had no break in between.
Oh my God.
But yeah,
Yeah. They listen, actually. They don't listen to their mom, but they listen to their aunties and random old women who
yeah,
talk to them.
yeah.
But it's always like the mom and the
Very,
dad.
very normal, very
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah.
I'm accepting it, and that has actually helped us a lot. You need to pick your battles
Bravo.
with them.
Bravo.
About creation.
Mm-hmm.
There's that famous question which I've always disliked, but it's good to comment on it.
Mm-hmm.
Do we all need to create in order to exist? We don't. But then again, what is also creation? Creation is not always producing some world famous art or, necessarily exhibiting. Is there art if it's not exhibited? We always also ask that question around here and so on. Do you need a public to see your art and enjoy it and comment on it for it to actually be art? How do you see this part of your work? When you exhibit, why do you do it? And what is something that's your take from
Uh,
it?
so I create because it's the way how I talk to myself, or how to not to talk to myself. I create because I want to understand the world. I I think a lot, I reflect a lot, I observe a lot, and the making is just like it's this it's just trying to make things
Mm.
make sense.
Yeah.
When I exhibit, it's kind of think about it of like I'm sharing something, I'm sharing like knowledge or a question
Mm.
or something with someone else. You either feel it or you don't feel it, and it's okay. And that's how I think about it. And I think we all create.
Mm.
It's the same as people create and make. Like when you create, I don't know, a cake, or when you create something, when you mix things together to make something else, that's create.
Exactly.
So I think human create from the beginning. If not, then we will be wearing white outfit or black outfit.
Yeah.
Why did they think of colors and jewelry? It's important. It's important. If it's not, then why you go to museum and see all these amazing things?
True. Um, Do you consider you grow as an artist, or how do you see passage of time when it comes to your art? For instance, now you have enrolled in school
Hmm.
again for the reasons you've already mentioned. How do you feel this development of an
As
artist?
being in a school is very humbling because
Mm,
you go and you stay with students who just graduate or
yeah.
someone been 3 years or 6 years that have different experiences. And yeah, I always think of myself, I'm very humble. I know, but also like I think school make you humble.
Mm.
And if you resist, then you will learn this amount, like which I'm showing just a little. But if you don't, then you get more. And also, like I think I had like especially okay, my work doesn't change. It doesn't happen like this. It's just like a moment where things happen. And for me, the summer was that where I was like, okay, I'll stay in Abu Dhabi because I also have my dog, which I already miss him,
Mm.
Chico. And, traveling with him is, it's like, you know what? I create my structure. So even during the summer, I mean, I came twice here and I went to a residency in Thailand, which I loved it. Also helped me. But I had like the same kind of ritual. I will wake up, have my breakfast, sit with my dog, take him to his daycare, go to school, studio is empty. I'm just like working. And I don't know what I was doing, and I'm embracing that. But then by August, I was shocked by the amount of things that I did.
You've done, yeah. Um, Now that we're also talking about your work, can we recount a little bit on artistic scene in Kuwait?
Hmm.
You might be away, but you're not too far away. How do you feel about the artistic scene? What's offered? Is there something that you feel is very important to share with us? How do you feel about regional cooperation now that you are regionally based?
I always say Kuwait has a very, 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 very talented artists. We have a lot of artists, but sadly, like we don't have enough venues for them. Like in the West, you see all these museums because it's a capitalist countries where rich people, if you donate money, you don't pay
Yeah,
taxes.
yeah, you get
So so
perks.
so the system there being designed to have access for artists. In this country, I mean, I personally opened a studio and I wanted to create it as a hub, but as an artist who's freelancer, who's trying to cover the rent, find money for myself, and manage the space for community and think about my exhibition, I was like, I can't do this all. It's always like the ideas are better
Yeah.
than the amount of work you need. And if I wanted to bring someone, then I need to find money. So I think it's the best time to invest in creating these kind of artistic spaces
Mm.
in Kuwait.
I think it's a joint thing. It needs to be state supported, sort of a non-profit,
I was
but
thinking more of like,
yeah.
let's the government have a lot of things. Like, I think the communities could do something.
Oh, yes, definitely. What I mean is like when you have a framework in which you have certain support, whether through policies or through some sort of funds, then you can leave it to the community to do their thing.
And I hope also artists get along more together and try to think for their communities. I know
Yeah.
it's an extra thing, but like we do have communities here are amazing, but I also believe that in Kuwait we have everything. We just need people to do it. We need to stop waiting for someone to initiate.
To do it for us. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And with all the work you do, with everything you do, which is a way of talking to yourself, like you said, how do you rest? Where do you find spots and places to rest so you can recharge and start again?
I don't think of what I'm doing as work. That's the
Mm.
other thing.
Okay. That's
Like
that's an answer too. Yeah.
for me, I literally enjoy being in my studio and making work, going weekend. Like I don't enjoy reading and preparing presentation and a respond to something.
Yeah.
That's a work. But
Yeah.
if I'm in my studio doing what I enjoy doing, it's not work. It's fun.
You have mentioned that there will be an exhibition in
Yeah,
Abu Dhabi in
yeah.
November of something you've already
Uh,
submitted.
so I will participate in Art Abu Dhabi
Mm-hmm.
in my new work, Lost Tongue of Earth. I'm very excited about that. And also by next year, we will have a graduation exhibition. Uh, I think it would be at Risk Gallery there
Mm-hmm.
this year. So I'm excited about that.
Any other plans that you might want to share with us?
Not really. I'm trying not to participate in anything. I'm trying to really like be fully students and avoid
Mm-hmm.
open calls and everything, and
Yeah.
just enjoy the idea that I have access to all these studios
Yeah.
and I have the time and energy. So yeah, I'm enjoying my simple life, going to school and coming at around 6, 7, picking my dog, go home, either cook or eat something or order
Mm.
something, and that's it. I'm done. The day
Well,
is done.
that's still plenty. Maha, thank you so much. Our time has slowly passed for this. Thank you for this conversation and so many things you've shared with us.
Thank you so much for making this really as catching up with you
Mm.
instead of like, oh, there's light and cameras. But
Yeah.
it was like really, I lost track of time.
I'm glad. The idea is to get all the best sides of everyone here, but at the same time for them to enjoy. We hope to hear more soon about your projects,
Mhm.
visit some of them that we have mentioned, and hopefully see you in Kuwait at some point.
Yeah, inshallah, I will always be coming. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Maha.
Thank you so much. Thank you.